Yo, what is up YouTube? And today we actually have the official patch notes for the update that just came out a couple hours ago after the maintenance ended, and I'm going to be talking about them so you're not too surprised when you log in today and see, how the game has pretty much completely changed. Now before I start, I want to say that I'm kind of sick and my voice might sound weird, so please bear with me, but I'll try to get through this and tell you guys what's going on. So first off, we have the new arena season, which will be starting in 4 days. This means that the new pass is starting, and also the rankings will reset with the weekly reset as well. But basically, borders coming out, there's going to be new passes, right? Most important thing, you'll be able to get new rewards, new weapons, new armor and stuff like that, and accessories, and of course, the new unknown slate at the max rank. And you can see that this season will be featuring injury set. So very, very good, because injury set is pretty hard to come by, a little bit more niche, so you're not going to be farming for it actively. And that makes it so that when you get it from the pass, you'll at least have some pieces on injury that you can use on some characters that you want to counter health scaling bruiser. We also have the adjustment, the balance adjustment. I'm not going to go through it because I went over it before, but basically ML Ken, ML Cecilia getting buffed. ML Cecilia's buff is pretty large because she can now dispel with her S3, which is pretty huge. Spirit Eye Celine getting a small buff. Sylvan Sage Vivian getting a pretty large buff, which will make her pretty good. ML Sharoon also getting a pretty large buff as well. Biggest winner of this buff though is going to be Fire Litica. She's basically ML Litica now, but like a little bit better. So I think that you definitely want to build her now. She's going to be very, very good at opening. And Fire Kayron's damage is going up, which isn't a big deal. Seaside Bologna's getting a pretty large buff as well. She doesn't redirect damage anymore to the front line. She just takes less damage, which is pretty huge. Lethe is also getting buffed. Destina's getting buffed. Landy's getting buffed. You don't need Guiding Light on her anymore because you're going to see that she actually gets stealth at the start of battle, which is pretty cool. And also you'll see, Watcher Shuri doing more damage, which I don't understand why. He already does a ton. And the biggest thing with the artifacts is going to be Reingar Special Drink, which is okay. Already does a decent amount of damage. But Wall of Order. So Wall of Order is going to be Landy's best artifact now, because for each buff granted to an enemy, you have a higher chance to get that greater attack buff. But the best part is now that at the end of the turn, instead of a barrier, you get stealth, which is going to make it so that you don't need Guiding Light. You just run her on her own artifact and she'll be very good. Not only will she have that stealth, but she'll also have this chance to get greater attack buff, which will make her do a ton of damage. Also, Fairy Tale for a Nightmare is also getting buffed as well, just more damage, which is pretty good. We have New Guard Crow, or not New Guard Crow, the new unit Guard Captain Crow coming out. Not a limited character, just a regular unit, but he's added to the pool, which is pretty interesting. I thought he'd be limited. Looks pretty decent. I'm going to be showcasing him probably tomorrow or the day after. Basically, he does what Blue Crow does without needing to be low. He can soul burn his S3 to just nuke a target down, and he also does AoE damage and gives himself vigor, and has a CR push, and also like a stun that ignores effect resist. Defense scaling warrior, which is pretty interesting. The biggest question to me is, will his S3 one-shot evasion units, such as Afternoon Soak Flan, right? I think that's the biggest question. If it does, he'll be very, very powerful. Also, his artifact will give him souls, so you can actually soul burn his S3 right away, and it'll make it so that he just does extra damage increased when he actually soul burns as well. Next, we have a new 4-star coming out, Victorica. Basically, 4-star Fire Knight. She has a chance of defense break, AoE attack that gives her counter attack, and also has an immunity for her entire team. It's going to be a PvE bot, it looks like, for Golem and probably Earth Expedition, but it looks pretty strong in there. We have a new side story for the new character, Guard Captain Crow, which is very cool. All you guys have to do is complete the Episode 1, Chapter 6-8 of the 6th World, which is like the new story mode that just came out, which is very interesting, and you just get a ton of rewards. Also, Spirit Eye Celine getting a new exclusive equipment. When the caster uses Soul Burn for the first time, she does increased damage, and it will not cost souls, so she'll be able to nuke people with her S1, which is very interesting. And we also have, the 2 banners. We just talked about Guard Captain Crow, as well as Green Vildred, and you'll also see that the Hall of Trials rotation is changing. Also, there's some new packs you can get as well, which are pretty interesting if you're interested in that stuff. That's part 1. Let's actually look at that's part 2. Let's actually look at part 1 now. So I guess we kind of went backwards. So with this update, you'll see like the UI has completely changed, and that is because we have the Origin update. Basically, it's a new story mode where it's the stories from the past. Epic 7 is now turning into Epic 6 because we're in the 6th world, and you can see how the world before the current one is. And we have up to chapter 4 right now, I think, right? So you'll be able to do that. And you can see that there's also a new game mode, Ogre's Armory, which you'll get. And you can kind of see that it's similar to like the Goblin event where we had, where you can get these equipments, which are going to be pretty much used for the early to mid game. It's not going to really have late game equipment, but it's a way to actually boost your account for new players. So if you're new to the game, you want to get to this ASAP and just farm it for a little bit to get some of this equipment, which will be very good for you. And you'll also see there's new Adventurer's Path, which will give you more rewards, which is very cool. And also hunts are going to be changed, which I think it's not here, but basically we'll talk about that in a second. Sanctuary is getting updated as well to give you increased rewards. You can see you can get leafs now and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. Even artifact charms, Molagora and stuff like that. And even a Moonlight Summon ticket, 5-star Moonlight Summon ticket will be available at the max rank, which is very, very nice, right? And a ton of other goodies, as you can see. So a lot of good stuff that you can get from this now, which is very nice. Even the crafting interface is being updated to be a lot more user-friendly. And just like the UI for everything is getting a complete overhaul. And you're also going to see that catalysts will be streamlined and divided based on hero class. They're not on Constellation anymore, which is very nice. And you can also see that you can get these catalysts here, which are pretty cool as well. You can get these points now from one system, I think. And you can use these to buy the catalysts, and I think they're random, I believe, right? It looks like might be not random, but basically new catalyst system, and all the catalysts currently in your inventory will be converted into catalyst selection chests after the maintenance. So if you're wondering why you don't have catalysts, check your inventory, you'll have them in your chest. Also, you'll be seeing that Raid and Labyrinth doesn't require currency, so you can actually just play through it, which is great. And yeah, just a great way to allow people to not be time gated, right? Also, as I was saying previously, hunts are split into 3 difficulties now, which will be a lot better. You don't have to play through 13 stages and stuff like that. And adventure mode looks a little bit different as well. I'm not a fan of the new adventure mode, to be honest, but that is what they changed with the UI. And lobby UI is also changing. You can see here, you probably already noticed it. You can see you can change your quick menus as well to whatever you want. And that is, pretty much the huge update that came to the game. Mostly UI changes with the new story and a lot more rewards for us, which is great. Very excited to play through it. I haven't actually logged in yet. Just wanted to show you guys what came with the maintenance. And as always, thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about this update, though. And thank you again for watching.